Yo, people, what's good? Welcome back to another episode. I believe it's episode 10. I think I got hoodwinked. Nearly I got hoodwinked, but luckily I'm sharper than these people. They try put episode 9 in the thumbnail. But I believe it's episode 10. Episode 10, which could be possibly one of my saddest, because a lot of it we're going to be talking about Man United winning a trophy after 7 years, Michael.
5.5.
5.5.
Yeah.
I read somewhere 7 years or something, man.
Nah, it's 2017 Europa League final.
Okay, shit, 5.5, Man's even got decimal points out. Okay, it is what it is, no problem. We can talk about it. I'm a football man. I can talk about it. It's not a problem. I'm a Liverpool fan, but life's different. Life's different. Of course, we've got Bilal in the building as well. We asked for a response when you lost to Man City. Since then, you can't really complain, right? Everything's going smoothly for you, man, as well.
Yeah, since that Villa game, obviously since the madness of that last two goals in the last few minutes, the Leicester game was a performance where, we started looking like the Arsenal before the World Cup, the Arsenal that came back after the World Cup. We're starting to look like we're getting back to where,
That
the
rhythm
team has been playing. Yeah, the rhythm of playing again. And the games are coming thick and fast. I'll be going to the game, luckily, on Wednesday, Arsenal-Everton game in hand. So, yeah, it's looking good, but one game at a time at this point, honestly, because every game is as important as the next one. So, yeah, the rhythm looks like it's coming back. So, yeah, happy to see that. Obviously, Michael as well, getting that win. Big him up, to be honest, right? Michael's one of those guys I'm kind of happy for.
Yeah, look, he's on my channel, right? He's on my channel on a regular. So you already know he's a nice guy. Because we only get nice guys on here, you know what I mean? People that don't get overexcited, people that don't get too like have no chest at all. He's in the middle. He flip-flops. So, like, sometimes he comes with chest, then he realizes, nah, man, I can't come with too much in case my team get dealt with. PTSD kicks in. But when you got people like, we're gonna obviously get into it, but I know what he's gonna talk about and who he's gonna talk about. I already know, you already know as well, Bilal. Like, he's gonna talk about certain players, and you have to accept it. Of course, we want to welcome George, man, who's making his debut on my show. 100%. Yeah, big up yourself. George is a Spurs fan, of course. You've probably seen him on Terry's channel and Never a Foul. I think I've been on with you with Never a Foul, man, as well. But welcome to my humble abode, bro. Hope you're good.
No, thank you. I appreciate having me here. And yeah, it's good to come on a good weekend, because usually they're calling Tottenham fans when we're losing, but we're back now, man. 2 London derbies in a row. It feels nice.
Bro, you guys have got some scalps under your like this season already, like Man City, Chelsea. Who's the other team that you beat recently? Like you got big scalps, man. It's like West Ham as well. Yeah, it's like it's a mad season, isn't it? We're probably gonna start off with the League Cup, but your season's wild, isn't it? It's like everyone's going through this. It's everyone apart from Arsenal. Everyone's going through ups and downs, right?
Yeah. Exactly that. And yeah, you don't know what to expect from Tottenham this season, but at the moment it's winning ways, so I ain't complaining.
100%. Uthman says Grizz tears. Nah, bro, I'm not gonna cry about it. I'm just gonna moan and whatever and mope around the house, you know what I mean? Take it out on friends and whatnot, but I'm not gonna cry. It is what it is, man. We're not in the coffin right yet, man. People, like on your way in, subscribe if you haven't. You already know the house rules. I guess we have to start at Wembley. I thought Bilal might do the ultimate riding thing where he puts the Wembley pitch in the background. I thought, nah, man, Bilal, don't do that shit.
Yeah, nah, not for these ones. Nah,
yeah, not for these ones. Not for these ones.
If it was a young Leicester or something, maybe I would have thought about it. But Man United, not a chance, man. As I said, I was happy for Michael, kind of, but honestly, I was watching the game. There's too many Man United fans.
No, I'm not happy for.
These are guys I've been beefing with for years. I can't. Nah, yeah.
Yeah,
don't be happy for me, because I wouldn't be happy and vice versa.
100%. I know that's why I'm not happy for you, because I know you wouldn't be happy for us. 100%, you'd be crying and hurting, and that's I'm right now. I don't want to see Man United win a trophy, but we done the preview. We chatted about it before the game. All the build up was about, can Newcastle do something, and I said if this game was played about a month ago, it will be a different game, because Newcastle right now in a little bit of a tricky sticky situation coming to this, and the momentum Man United have got is too strong. And you know what? After the first half an hour, I thought this was a stroll in the park. Michael, talk to me about your team, the performance. Talk to me about the lineup. Was it expected? Did you think this was going to be the lineup? Talk to us, bro.
Yeah, it's been a rough 2,000. It was 2,102 days since we last won a trophy. I had the days counted. 2,102. A very long time. Very long time. I was starving for a trophy, and it finally ended. The lineup, I expected that lineup. I'm not gonna lie, nothing really tricky. Rashford, we all knew he was gonna play. Everything about this injury stuff was all bogus. We all knew Rashford was gonna suit up. So yeah, the lineup was expected, but the way we played was unexpected because a lot of people thought we were just gonna come play this like high line, the kind of possession football. And I had this debate on yesterday with fans because a lot of people, this possession thing, if you don't win the possession, you don't deserve to win the game. That's the Pep type football. I'm telling you, Pep has ruined the minds of people. This like especially Hamza. I'm calling out Hamza on this because he's the one that keeps saying this possession. We looked at Newcastle. What's their weakness? The kind of like scoring the attack. They're really good defensively. They know how to like make you suffer. So we did that to them. We said you could have the ball and you try to break us down, and they couldn't break us down. They had one shot on target. Why couldn't they break us down? That little trident. Lisandro Martinez, Rafael Varane, Casemiro. I like to call it the best trident in world football. Because we have the best DM in world football in Casemiro, and we have the best center back partnership in world football in Lisandro Martinez and Rafael Varane. Combined, Varane and Casemiro, you don't have to speak for them. 5-time UCL winner Casemiro, 4-time UCL winner with Varane. Obviously, it's not at our club, but now I can brag trophies with them winning with us. Now I can officially say that. So rival fans. Are you really
gonna ruin their CV like that? Are you really gonna say 5-time UCL winner, 1-time Carabao Cup?
All I'm saying is, have you seen? All I'm saying, I saw Casemiro smile a little more yesterday than he did for his fifth Champions League.
Michael, I was happy for you. Now my happence for you has disappeared, man.
I saw him saying
partnership.
Of course. Nah, Gabriel and Saliba. Gabriel and Saliba hype. Saliba hype. Anyway, I don't really care about those two guys. Just the way that they fought yesterday, especially Lisandro Martinez, went into the aerial duel with Fabian Schär, almost got concussed, came back on the pitch, went for another aerial duel. Callum Wilson was doing high boots. Martinez was diving into them challenges. I just love those. I love those guys with all my heart. Like I genuinely love those guys. Marcus Rashford got his goal. They gave it to him. Thank you, Wembley and the Carabao Cup. They almost took our goal away from us, but we finally have a goal in the final. And Wout Weghorst. You know what, Grizz, you remember when we signed him? I'm like, let me give a chance to this guy. And then against Barcelona, he had the worst performance I ever saw in my life from a striker. But yesterday, I think this is the reason why, because Schär and Baumann have been really good this season, right, for Newcastle, but they're very slow guys. So Wout Weghorst finally came up against center backs just as slow as him. So he actually kind of looked in place, and he was really good yesterday. So I'm really happy with that. It was just a professional performance. Obviously, we had a game 3 days ago, so we weren't going to be the fittest of teams. We've played like 3 games every week for like the last 2 months. So obviously, Newcastle were more fresh than us. So we just played off the ball and said, come break us down. And like I said, they only had 1 shot on target. So just professional.
Professional, George, I'm going to come to you. Look, we're going to come back to the Man United chat, but the Newcastle team, they've come a long way. As I said, they've been drawing a lot of games. They're hard to beat. Was you disappointed with Newcastle, or was it always going to be a tall order? And look, at the end of the day, none of them have really won anything. I'm trying to look through their lineup, and I don't think anyone's won anything. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. I don't think Trippier with Atletico, yeah, and maybe Botman might have won something with Lille.
He won the league on. Yeah.
There you go. Guimaraes didn't win nothing with Lyon. I'm not too sure. I don't think so, but you get what I'm saying with this, right? Inexperienced team on the rise, on the up. The manager as well on the rise, on the up. But it was kind of not boys against men, but we kind of knew where this was going, right? Ultimately, or did you think different?
No, I thought that exactly. I was thinking if you want Newcastle to win, it's all hope. Let's be real. Like you mentioned, this season they've been a team that can't get the job done. They're very hard to beat, but they're not beating many teams. They're getting a lot of draws, and they look like that front line it's either flourishing or it's just not there. And quite frankly, going into this game, I expected Man United to do the job. Let's be real. I think it's a cup final. It's Man United against Newcastle. You got some real experienced players in there for Manchester United. Like you said, Casemiro, the likes of Bruno Fernandes, who won league titles in Sporting. Rashford, he's still a very experienced player, even though he's not won too many things, but he was there for the league. He was there for the last League Cup, weren't he? And the Europa League under Mourinho.
Look at the two centre backs. Martinez, World Cup winner, Varane,
and
World Cup winner, and Champions League winner.
Yeah,
like suddenly these people, this club, suddenly they've got like match winners and the right mentality right through their club. It's not looking good.
No, that's exactly it. And let's just be real, is it what you expected from Manchester United? They may not have played on the front foot, and like you said, they played a few games over these past couple of weeks, but Man United just got the job done. If Man United did go out there and lose, they'd be the laughing stock of the Premier League. How'd you let Newcastle come here with a few new signings 12 months into their project, come and beat you guys? I think it was just, it was a battle of the projects. Man United showed that they're just a bit further ahead than Newcastle. Newcastle got 100%. A few more years and then come back and potentially get a trophy. I think it was just a bit too soon for Eddie Howe's boys.
Yeah, I think, look, if you're a Newcastle fan, we had Kendall, didn't we, Bilal? Like, you know what I mean? They're gonna be relaxed. They're gonna be, of course, they're gonna be hella disappointed. You know what I mean? But usually, you know what I mean, you take it in your stride and you come again and you try to go again. And they're gonna be back for sure. But what was your thoughts on the game? Because I'm gonna come back to Michael and I'm gonna ask him a couple of questions later, but I want to get your take on the game. I thought Newcastle started off all right, you know. I'm not gonna lie to you. I thought Newcastle, they were a little bit unlucky. St. Maxim done that move, and we all know, we all got off our feet and wanted to see that again in slow motion. Like, what did he exactly do to Dalot? Like, I wanted to see what he actually done. Like, it was a blur. Do you know, it was one of those Ronaldinho, what he used to do. It was Ronaldinho. It was a blur. But again, typical St. Maxim. Has he got that ending to it? Almiron's been such a sensation all season. Gone off the boil a bit. And look, Longstaff, Joe Linton, yeah, they're great, but there was way too much on Bruno Guimaraes to be creative and, you know, box to box and all of that business, right?
Yeah, 100%. To be honest, right, I think Man United played the perfect game. Even in the first half, I know Dalot was the weak link, but he was, for me, the only weak link in that whole team, and obviously got hooked off. So Ten Hag saw that and identified the issue. Second half, he saw what Wan-Bissaka did.
He's mad at that, you know, Ten Hag. Sorry, he's mad at that. Yeah. It's pissing me off.
But big game, honestly, Wan-Bissaka, in that kind of situation, you're 2-0 up, well, 1-0 up, 2-0 up, and then you just have him just locking off anyone that's coming his way. It's just a masterstroke. And when you have that sort of option in your team, you have to use it, and he used it. I was impressed with the way Man United played. If you watch them against Barcelona, if you watch them any of the big games that they played against Man City, against Arsenal, they don't dominate the ball, but they don't have to. All they need to be is very hard to beat. It's kind of similar to Newcastle in a way where Newcastle are very hard to beat. But the difference between Man United and Newcastle is Man United just have the quality. Exactly. The Rashford, the Bruno. And that cross from Luke Shaw to Casemiro for the first goal was a mad. You know, them headers there are like, you're not winning today, Newcastle. Those sort of bullet headers. It reminded me of when Sergio Ramos equalized against Atletico Madrid, right? It's them headers there just hit you in your solar plexus. You feel it as a punch in the gut. And you just know at that moment, the game's done, right? I didn't see Newcastle coming back into it. Also, 20 minutes in, Bruno Guimaraes, I don't know if he was injured or what, like he was pulling up. Fabian Schär, his head was gone from early.
His head was gone, you know. He was, and people didn't pick up on that. He continued, but for that, like that was the Man United's best spell, you know.
Yeah,
I don't know if you guys noticed that.
100%. Like Bruno, and obviously Bruno started it off like he went down. It was a bit weird what was happening with him, and he was such a big part of what Eddie Howe was trying to, even before the game. Bruno Guimaraes, Eddie Howe's talking about him, saying, listen, he can be the difference for us. We've been missing that sort of player in the middle, you know, to give us that extra pass, all of that. Sometimes it happened. There was one moment, second half, where he played in Trippier. Trippier was offside, but still it was few and far between. But yeah, as I said, Shaw was a little bit rattled in there. And then, you know, what added to it was the likes of Anthony, what he was doing to Dan Burn and his friends, man. Joe Linton had to come in and just hit, man. They just said, get off the ball, because this is too much now. It's embarrassing everyone in the Newcastle side. But for me, honestly, as I said, I think Man United played a perfect game. I think they did really well. 2-0, professional performance that second half as well. They didn't need to come out and go for the third. They just killed the game. And then last few minutes as well, they could have got the third and just completely buried it even more. But for me, perfect cup game for Man United. Perfect cup final. The Newcastle fans are up for it, but Man United pulled through, and they just showed that quality. And again, Newcastle, it's going to be a wait for them. Was it 67 years now, 68 years? Who knows, since they won a domestic trophy. It will continue a little bit longer. But there's another question as well, just for everyone as well. I don't feel like it's the same with Newcastle. Like when they, when Man City got money, when Chelsea got money, I just don't see, the league is not in the same position as it was back in the day, right? I feel like even the players in the world to sign, like, yes, Newcastle will be good. Yes, it'll be competitive, but it's not going to be the same as Man City or even Chelsea, I think, in the past, despite the amount of money they have. I don't know if that sounds crazy.
I think it's because of the amount of money that's in the game right now. Like, as you said, like when Chelsea and Man City came in, it was like a massive gap between them and the rest of the other clubs financially. Now, the gap isn't as big for Newcastle because of all the financial fair play rules and everything that comes into play. Newcastle can't spend like Man City.
They can't go wild.
Yeah. And they really
can't go wild. Yeah,
and you've seen, even if they want to, there's other teams out there like Chelsea, even now with new owners spending like that, Man City, Man United, everyone can spend 200-300 million. It's just not the same ballgame.
I'm not gonna lie, I agree with you guys. I said it today as well on another channel, and I was saying like Newcastle, I like the way they're doing stuff. Like I wouldn't be down about it at all, and they're not gonna have the same impact because now they've got bare juggernauts ahead of them already. Like Man United got money. They've got a great coach now. Man City, we already know. Chelsea, we already know. Liverpool are going to come back hard. And Spurs, you never know. They might get new ownership as well. And if that's the case, they're going to be coming back harder. So there's 4 or 5 teams, whereas when Chelsea came, they only really had Man United, and Arsenal were just about on the decline when they started, yeah?
Yeah, and the decline.
And it was only Man United that overtake,
Then Man City came in with more money. Like, we couldn't compete at that time. Liverpool couldn't compete financially. It was just Chelsea, Man United here and there, and then Man City. So it's not the same now. I think if you look at the league now from top to bottom, if you look at even the Aston Villa owners, you see the amount of money
exactly. Shout out media plug. They say massive shout out to the best. I appreciate that. Big up the panel, smash the likes. Hot take. Isak starting the game would have been enough to see them lift. I was very disappointed with Callum Wilson, guys. I know, George, I don't know what you think of Callum Wilson. He's played for England, so of course he's not a bad player. When I talk about levels, I'm trying to talk about the highest levels. I just think there's something. What's missing in his game to make him world class? Because he's, he reminds me of. Obviously, I'm a bit older than you guys, but Les Ferdinand was like that, right? Les Ferdinand was like goals and power, but he was never elite. Do you know what I mean? He gives me those vibes, Callum Wilson. Andy Cole scored hella goals, but it was just never elite. Callum Wilson scores goals, like if you got in your FPL, all right. But when you see him play, he don't do it for me.
He's a bit like a Sunday league striker. Like he's gonna give you a bit of pushing. He's gonna rough you around. Yeah, he's like a centre back that plays up top. That's what he reminds me of.
Yeah,
he can finish here and there, but he's just missing that movement. He's missing that beat a man, get on the ball, and he's missing those big moments. He's not a player that's gonna pick it up for the team, beat 2-3 players and score a goal. He's just not that type of player. So I think he's missing just those bits to his game to make him a big player, but he's all right. He does a job for Newcastle here and there. I think it will be Isak's turn to come in next season to really take over the role, but he just doesn't. Isak still needs to grow a lot and doesn't contribute on the goal front enough for him to take over on Wilson. So
I totally agree with you. You know that, Michael. It almost feels like maybe they should play in a 2. I know they played in a 2 in the second half, which didn't work either. But George is right. Like Isak looks good on the ball. His link up, like someone said earlier, Callum Wilson's link up play is very, very normal, average, mid. Whereas Isak's is top. But you already know if you want a chance to fall, you probably want it to fall to Callum Wilson, not to Isak. I know Isak banged Liverpool at Anfield. He scored that mad goal. But a combination of the two is what you're looking for. I think basically what I'm trying to say is Newcastle will be looking for a better striker next season in the summer if they're going to spend money.
Yeah, I mean, or they could just leave Isak by himself and get more goal-scoring wingers on the left, kind of get away from Saint Maximin and kind of get someone that's more of a goal threat. Because Saint Maximin, like, That guy's
What
like,
is it about Saint Maximum,
bro,
guys?
he's
I
just
like
one of those
him.
players. He's so on the ball, like he's exciting, but he doesn't know what he's doing half the time. He's just trying stuff. And sometimes
Really?
it'll work. Sometimes it'll work, and sometimes it just won't. He's just one of those guys.
Like a five-a-side player. Like, his main focus is beating his man, and that's it. He doesn't know what's next. He just wants to beat his man, and he'll do it time and time again.
He's a Nicolas Pepe, but obviously better. Like, that's what he is. He's one of those guys that he'll twist someone up 5 times.
Are we taking him out our clubs? Are we taking him out our clubs?
100%.
I don't need him. I have Marcus Rashford, so I'm good.
No, but a squad player. Okay, maybe not.
I have Garnacho.
You prefer Garnacho to
his development, because we could develop. Because I trust Ten Hag to develop Garnacho into a superstar. So
I'm gonna look like an idiot then, innit? If I'm taking him at Liverpool. If you mans are saying, okay, Spurs, I understand. Yeah, they've only got Kulusevski and Son, really, right? Like Kulusevski and Son.
Oh, we got Danjuma, Richarlison.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
He's St. Maximin's a completely different player to all of them. He's someone that can actually take a man on and confidently beat someone. And I feel like St. Maximin, in a team where he knows he's got a guaranteed goal scorer, someone up top that he can cross it in and is just going to get their head to that ball, like Harry Kane, I think he would be amazing. But
I think Harry Kane. I think if St. Maximin went to Spurs, Harry Kane would leave. Yeah, he'd say, "Get out of here! This guy, are you mad?" Like Harry Kane is one of those strikers where he makes the most intelligent moves, right? Probably bar none. I'm trying to think at the top of my head. I think he's one of the most intelligent strikers in Europe. Forget the Premier League. And because he hasn't got that pace, if you're going to keep making him do those runs and not giving the ball, he's going to get pissed off. So that's why Son knows when Kane makes that movement, Son feeds him or Kulusevski feeds him. Say Maxim will be ducking in, ducking out. Harry Kane would be going mad. But was you happy to see Isaac on the bench, Michael? Or was it, you'd prefer to play up against Callum Wilson?
Yeah, I think Isaac. I saw Isaac right away. He was kind of getting past our midfield really quickly. Like he was getting past him, but he had no one to pass to because their attack isn't that good. But if they get proper wingers with Isaac, they're going to be a problem because he's a top link play striker. He was really good at Sociedad. He had a Januzaj for La Liga, which was high standards. So whereas the ball on the other side, so he's a good player. That 4-2-4 was actually kind of dangerous, but the fact that we sat back and nullified it, but if we were playing like a high line, that 4-2-4 would have caused trouble because over the top balls like Almar and everything. But the player I want to big up the most from our club is Aaron Wan-Bissaka. That second half was straight clamps. Right away, he tackled St. Maximin and told you ain't doing that shit that you did to Dalo. Not today. Because he elastic. Dalo was embarrassing yesterday that first half. He was getting cooked. But Wan-Bissaka, I don't think there's really very few wingers on this planet that could cook Wan-Bissaka like at all. Like we've seen what that guy did to Mbappe at Parc des Princes or something like that. In France, he locked up Mbappe. Mbappe couldn't get past him, and Mbappe is arguably the best player on the planet. So Wan-Bissaka, I'm getting more like into the mindset that I don't want to sell him because that kind of profile is so rare. Just as a game changer at the back in a sense, because if you go up against like a St. Maximin or a tricky winger like that, you can just sub out Wan-Bissaka and nullify that whole threat. And on the ball, he's obviously not the best, but he's actually kind of getting to the point where he's okay at it. He's not like a net negative. He's just.
See, but this is the problem, innit? With the modern day game, right? If you look at Man City's fullbacks, Liverpool's fullbacks, you're even sure. Like, I'm surprised. Okay, you've gone for Wan-Bissaka, but for me, Shaw is probably the best left back in the league.
Oh,
like,
he's mad. I said the world, but that's just me.
Okay, I think
the world.
This season.
Who we got?
This season, I think he's the best left back in the world.
He's playing some serious football, Bilal. Look, I told you I hate him.
He is.
I can't be speaking. He's playing some serious football.
What are you saying, Bilal? Zinchenko's not there?
The reason I wouldn't say Zinchenko because the role he's doing for Arsenal is different.
That guy's a midfielder, right? He's not a left. That guy's not a left back.
Gabriel is the one playing left back and centre back. Like he's not playing left back. So Shaw is actually playing his position.
But we're coming.
Doing whatever he wants.
But you know what? Back to the Wan-Bissaka. Like he's a pure lock-off defender. Like when you need to lock off, attackers.
There is a way to play against him, though.
I was gonna say,
Oh yeah, if you press him, he's gonna
Not
lose
even
the
press
ball.
him. It's one of those ones where like
It's gonna be one of those. If he's willing to be a squad member, you keep him as a squad member. But
Yeah,
does Wan-Bissaka want to be a squad member?
I mean, I think he could. I mean, if he gets game time, obviously if he leaves, I have no problem with it. We'll just go get another right back. But I just want that kind of profile. Obviously, he'll never be my like target for starting at right back. I want a different right back. But I feel like if we could, I don't know, it'll be interesting because Dalot will stay. He's gonna get a new contract. So Wan-Bissaka, I do think leaves, but it's a kind of profile that it's a game changing profile you could just have just to throw in against wingers that you could just lock. Like in a UCL night when we have to like play defending only. We're like, we go away to the Allianz, for example, Bayern Munich, and we go one of them for our lives. Just throw Wan-Bissaka in there, and he'll shut off that whole side, and you just get that draw, and then you come back to Old Trafford and you play the more expensive side.
I love how you're prepping for the Champions League, like you ain't got your Europa League side coming up. You see?
No, that's for next year though. I know you forget Europa. I know we're gonna be in Champions League next year though. That's what I'm saying. But I'm preparing for Champions League for next year.
I think Wan-Bissaka is better than Dalot. You know, I don't know what you guys think. I would rather have Wan-Bissaka than Dalot as my right back.
The thing is, it depends what kind of game you play. It depends what kind of manager you are. What's your philosophy? It's very clear Ten Hag would rather start with Dalot because of his technical ability. But then what I love about Ten Hag, love strong man. Why am I loving a Man United manager? But what I respect about Ten Hag is the way he recognizes a problem, and he ain't shy to fix it straight away. Bang bang. We saw a yellow card from Dalot. We knew one more move from St. Maximin.
I thought the game was over when Dalot got a yellow card. I'm like, yo, this guy might get sent off within the next 10 minutes because I know St. Maximin can cause so many issues.
But this is your manager. He recognized straight away. He knew he had a man like Wan-Bissaka to come on. But guys, for me, just personally, I need to have a conversation, uncomfortable conversation for me. Obviously comfortable for Michael and probably uncomfortable for the rest of us people here, right? Casemiro has been the signing of the season. Do we agree or do we disagree? Are we ready to fight back with anything else? Because I just think he's revolutionized the mental state of that club, right? They played football. They had moaners, they had groaners, all about Pogba, all about Ronaldo, all about us, me, this and that. This guy's come in, won everything, but yet still rolled up his sleeves and he's looking to get dirty every game. And not only dirty, he's making sure they get over the line by hook or by crook. Yo, this guy's one of the best DMs the last decade. And now he's fucking scoring goals at United as well. What kind of sorcery is this?
He's only 2 GA off Jack Grealish in all comps, by the way.
No, don't know.
I'm gonna use that.
That's what's killing me about this, like everyone when he came in, we were like, he's finished. Not me, but a lot of people thought he was finished, or what can he do for Man United? They don't score goals. They can defend only so much, but he's out here bringing them goals. He's controlling games. He's made their defense look better. He's made their attack look better. And everyone, I feel like, has started to see a different side to Casemiro because, of course, at Real Madrid, he had his counterparts in Kroos and Modric, which they all played so well together. They all reflected each other so well. And there was only so much he needed to do for them. But with Man United, he's doing the whole job. He's taken control and he's made it his midfield. He's doing the job so well. I don't feel like anyone could take anything away from him. He's proved himself, like you say, to be the best DM in the Premier League right now. And there's no signing better than him, man. That summer signing was, you couldn't have done better. Man United they're laughing.
There's some people may have built up Gabriel Jesus if he continued the start he made, and if you end up winning the league, that could be a rival for player of the signing of the season. I'm trying to think top of my head. Anyone else, even a nomination?
It's Haaland.
Zinchenko maybe, but that's Haaland. The other one. That's it. Yeah.
So Haaland is the obvious one, is the relatable one, yeah. But again, that's a personal. He's gonna have the personal accolades. If they don't cop the European Cup and or the league, one of the two, does he count as signing of the season, peoples?
I think for me, signing of the season should mean like who improved their team the most. Like Haaland didn't improve. Well, it's a question if he improved City or not. But
don't get me wrong. If he wins the Champions League, clear Haaland because they bought him. Because
done his job.
Yeah, he did his job.
I argue with the Man City fans all the time. Well, I say Man City fans like there's a hell of them, but the 20 that is there, right? But
asterisks.
But no, I argue with him day and night. Like, you bought Haaland to win the Champions League. Stop saying this. You bought Haaland to win the Premier League. You didn't. Ferran Torres and these guys won Premier Leagues for you guys. It's not about that. Haaland was bought for the Champions League. If he wins them the Champions League, then that's the best signing of the season right there.
Yeah.
Because you guys ain't winning the league with Casemiro,
No.
but you know what I mean. But it's made a massive impact. Casemiro, you know, we had the debate the other day. Do you remember we had the Modric debate in the top 5 of all time, right? In his role, we're gonna have to do a show on Casemiro and where does he come in the DMs, because everyone straight away talks about Makelele. We talk about
Busquets.
Yeah. Who else we're talking DMs? My mind's gone blank, but
there's really not that many top DMs of all time.
Kante maybe.
Kante in a DM. Though.
Depends what kind of DM we're talking. Like if you can't maybe Pirlo, like a Regista doing his stuff there, that sort of DM.
Okay, so how are you describing Casemiro then? Is he straight DM? Because right now he's showing
madness. He is.
He's a straight up destroyer, but then he'll just come up with like a long range goal or something like that. I don't know. It's interesting.
You know what's mad about the Casemiro stuff? It's I remember before the Champions League final, the recent one between Real Madrid Liverpool, there was a poll that was done before the final. Casemiro, Fabinho, who you taking? And I remember it ended like 51% Casemiro, 49% Fabinho. But I think it's crazy. Like it's taking him to come to England for us to really appreciate.
It always happens. Always happens when you see a player play for whatever club in Europe. You see him now and again, unless you're hardcore. But then when you see him live in action every week in, week out, you realize this guy's a machine, man. Yeah. Like Casemiro, I'm going to be honest with you. I was the 50-50 once. I didn't cuss him off. I was laughing at how much money they're paying for him and wages and all that. But sometimes you have to pay to get top bread. He's top bread, you know. He's so
it looked mad at the time because they signed Tchouaméni and it was like Man United paid Real Madrid for the Tchouaméni deal for that to go through. But in hindsight, it doesn't really matter. They got a top player. And I think the sign of the season, he's just changed the mentality of the club. I think if you look at Jesus and Zinchenko, yes, they've come into Arsenal and helped. Obviously, Jesus has been injured. Zinchenko has been injured himself, come back. With these players, I still feel like the Arsenal's mentality, it's gone up, yes, but it's not to the level of what Casemiro has done to Man United. He has completely like galvanized everyone, of course, with Ten Hag. But he's just one of the main catalysts in that. Him and Lisandro Martinez. I think he's another shout for signing of the season. I think Martinez, the way people doubted him as well, saying his height, he's going to struggle winning headers, all of this. Listen, the guy's been a rock. He's been phenomenal. I'm not going to lie. For me, I actually enjoy watching him play, right? And that's another thing with this Man United team. Even as someone who is a avid Man United hater, right? I don't hate their players. Like most of them, apart from maybe Bruno, because he just reminds me of like he just reminds you of what Man United really is, right? But the rest of their players, to be honest, right, they're likable and you can see what they do on the pitch. So either Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, they have to be a shout, I think. For
one last thing on Casemiro, I knew he was going to be that guy when he came in. His entrance like quote was kind of pretty much after that Brentford loss. He said, "Bring me here, I'll fix this," and then he just fixed it. That was his quote. I'll fix them.
Joseph sending a super chat, says Frimpong been linked to United a lot recently.
Bring him. I'll take him.
That'll be a mad signing.
Yeah, but see what I'm saying, Michael? You're wanting everyone and everything. You just big up Dalot.
I want him.
Wan-Bissaka.
I want him. We need a right back. We need a more solid because Dalot and Wan-Bissaka are for me. I don't.
So which one are you selling?
I'd probably sell Wan-Bissaka.
Mad.
Because I think Ten Hag really likes Dalot and. I think he prefers him. And Frimpong is Dutch, so Ten Hag loves like every Dutch player on the planet. I wanted Malo Gusto, but Todd Boehly ruined everything for me. I had a perfect plan. I didn't even think about Frimpong, but Todd Boehly ruined my life because this guy wants to sign every single top young player in Europe. So
Frimpong will be top signing for anyone who needs a right back. Liverpool, if you need a right back, he would be a good signing.
But honestly, I'd sell either Dalot or Wan-Bissaka for Frimpong because I think if you could do like a core of like Frimpong for the attacking games because Frimpong's so good on the ball, and then just sub in like a Wan-Bissaka for defensive duties. That's a good, that's good depth there.
Didn't you even want the Spurs guy that they just bought, Porro? You wanted him as well.
He was on the list. He was not on the top of the list though. He was on the list.
Well, we're gonna come
to Man United. I don't remember.
Nah.
That's what I'm trying about. The Tottenham was on, off. That's what I remember.
City. It was always like City, Spurs, Chelsea, and Madrid.
We're gonna come to Spurs next and speak since like. Got George in the building. Michael talks. Well, big up Michael. He says, "Big up, guys. Let's not talk about LFC." Yeah, we done a whole 2 hours on LFC on RedFellas last night. Big show. Go and check it out. By the way, big show. How about the relegation battle? Since 13th to 20th is separated. Bilal, let me get that 13th to 20th table, man. It's separated by 7 points. Shit. Everton are screwed since they lack a goal scorer. Which three at the moment will you think will go down? So, who's down? Is there one team that's we all thinking nailed?
I think Bournemouth are going down.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Bournemouth.
Okay. So Bournemouth. Wait. Okay, I'm backing that. I think Bournemouth. I think Bill, are you going to agree as well, or are you going to try to be funny?
No, to be honest, right, against Man City, they were showing me something, but it's not
I knew
enough.
it.
Yeah, they lost 4-1. We'll allow it, man.
I know they lost 4-1, but they got something in it. Listen, it's not.
They do that FIFA kick. They do that FIFA kickoff glitch or something like that, where they pass it and just go long right away. Nah, I don't take that team serious, man. Please.
Yeah. Bournemouth. Look, I think Bournemouth are done. Right. Southampton are a funny one because how many times do we talk about certain ballers in their team?
All the time.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I'm very surprised to see them so far down because, like, those signings they made at the start, like Lavia and a few of the other, Bazunu, like, they've got a few gems in their team where you really expected them to push on, but they've been really disappointed.
Look at their centre backs, man. Bella Kocha, Salisu, and up front, like, have they still got Walcott? Is Walcott gone back there?
Yeah, he cooked Chelsea for like 5 minutes last week.
He cooked Chelsea for 5 minutes.
If it ends like this, right, I'll be so happy because Everton and Southampton every season take points off my team for no reason. They can be, listen, they lose like 15 games in a row, play Arsenal, they get a point or they get a win. So yeah, if Everton and Southampton, can you do us a favor? Go to
Are we saying Forest, right? With all the players that they bought and the signings and all of that, do you think they've, because of that, saved themselves? Because Forest was nailed to go down, but now I think they might stay up.
You know what I think saved them? Their home form is absolutely ridiculous. You can't go to that ground and win.
Yeah, the atmosphere is serious.
That's how you survive.
It's easily the best atmosphere at all of those grounds, possibly barring Leeds. All the rest of the atmospheres, all of that, Everton, Bournemouth, Southampton, West Ham, and Wolves ain't got atmosphere like Nottingham Forest. And you know what? That can be a defining factor, peoples.
Everton, though, last season, I was going to say, Everton last season, the atmosphere kept them up. Like, that Palace game was weird. They should have lost, but somehow being at home just, like, got them the 3 points. So Everton still have a shout. I think it's between them and Leeds as a team that go down. And I don't know. I like the Leeds team, but it's weird. I don't trust them.
I like the Leeds team as well. You're like, I like the Leeds team, I like the way they play football. Like,
the one key factor that there is, though? Sean Dyche, man. We all know what the job he does, and I feel like for Everton, he's just going to get them out of there.
Ain't working at the moment, though.
They aren't, but I feel like you've seen them have some good games, like especially the game against Arsenal, where you see they can turn up sometimes. They can play some good football. I know, like Bilal just highlighted, they always get a win against Arsenal at home for some reason. They always cause them trouble, but I feel like you saw a bit of what Sean Dyche can do with them. I feel like we've got 14 games left of the season. I feel like you're going to see them pick up a few points here and there. And I actually feel like they're going to trickle up the table and get into the top 15. I think it's just going to take some time, and Everton are going to.
I agree with that. I think Everton will beat the teams that are like around them. Like they beat Leeds last week. That's a 6-pointer. I trust Sean Dyche to win the 6-pointer.
That's a massive 6-pointer.
What are we saying though? Chelsea, they're not in danger, no?
Nah, you know what they might. If they lose to Leeds, they better start worrying because that's a 6-pointer, right? That's a relegation 6-pointer right there.
Man, allow it.
No. But honestly, I hope Southampton go down just because I want to ransack that club.
Matisse has been saying he's all about the 40-point mark, but allow that. Come on, surely not.
3 wins or do we trust them to get 3 wins in 14 games?
They've got 2 in 16, I think. Or 15.
Right now, no. But come on. We're gonna get on to Chelsea in a minute.
If you look after the next 2 games, they've got a tricky run of.
They still got to go to City away. They got to go to Arsenal away. They got to go to United away. It ain't easy for them.
By the way, Everton's one's the same because I was with the Everton fan today, and he went through their fixtures, and I was like, oh, yeah, I don't know when you're gonna win. It's one of those ones. Like he gave me like 10 fixtures in a row. I was like, okay, you're in trouble.
Yeah, but that's always the case. Just when we look at fixtures, we think to ourselves, when's the win coming back? Something comes through. But bring that up again. Let's just finalize who we think is going to go down then. So we're saying Bournemouth, 2 others. We need to respect the super chat and pick 2 others.
Yeah. Well, for me then, I'll go. Southampton are weirdos, man. I don't know if they could just stay up somehow. But because of the rest of the teams, yeah, I'll go Southampton, Bournemouth, and Leeds to get relegated. The Everton stay up.
I'll second that one.
I'm gonna throw a wild shot out there. I'm gonna say Bournemouth, Southampton, West Ham.
Ooh. Man said discount on rice. I don't mind.
Discount on rice. Nah, you ain't getting a discount. His price is set, man. Come on.
Even in the Championship, man.
No, they said 80 mil if they get relegated. That's the price if they get relegated.
No, that's the price. Full stop. Oh, no one's going to pay more than that. No one's going to pay.
They're not getting relegated, man. 4-0 against Forest the other day. West Ham. They're too good. They got too much quality to get relegated.
6 point now.
I had to change it up a little bit, you know.
I'm going Bournemouth, Southampton, and finally, inshallah, Everton. Get out of here. Get out of here. Get out of here, man. That's
the most
nasty dead club. Wow. Nasty dead club, man. They're always looking to choose violence in games. And you know what? You're talking about people that you want to hate, or you said you like the new Man United. Bro, look at these Everton. Like, I know that rat's gone to Newcastle. What's his name?
Anthony Gordon.
Yeah, Anthony Gordon. But they still got Seamus Coleman, who's the original rat. He's the original rat.
That was a hooper back in the day. Seamus Coleman.
Yeah,
his day, it was cold. Jordan Pickford. Jordan Pickford needs to go. I hate Jordan.
Jordan Pickford.
I hate that guy.
No, little Grizz, you should love him. He gives you like at least 2 goals a season, man.
Yeah,
he ended Van Dijk's career, bro.
Bro, he ruined Van Dijk's career, and we would have 100% won the league that season. He ruined Van Dijk that season, man, with that leg break.
I take that back about Pickford, yo. He low-key cooked.
Did you guys see that the other day though? He done it again. To who was the striker that went through?
I saw a video, clip. I didn't.
I know what you're talking about.
He done the same kind of tackle. How's the goalkeeper coming out and tackling like that? Give him a red card. When they come out and go for the ball with their hand, no problem. That's what goalkeepers do. But if you're coming out and swiping man like that, that's a dangerous tackle. That's equaling a red card offense. But enough chat about Everton.
Scorpion tackle or something.
Yeah, scorpion tackle. Nasty guy. Yo, people, like up the stream if you haven't. Let's all stop for about 3 seconds and like the stream. We're going to talk about another funny team, man. George, Spurs, man. Like, after everything else, you're 4th. After all the disastrous Conte tantrums, is he going at the end of the season? We'll get onto that. He probably still is. You're sitting 4th. Like, how do you make sense of this?
Do you know what? Yeah, even as a Spurs fan, it's very hard to try and make sense of how we are still in 4th. Our season has been so up and down, chopping, changing, and at times you just don't know what to expect from us. At the moment, second half FC just keeps pulling us through. We keep doing the job on teams, and Stellini's got us playing some football, man. I don't know why it is over in Italy, and Tottenham want to play some good football all of a sudden. We want to try and actually start listening to what we're supposed to be doing. So I'm happy about that. But like you say, the inconsistency just... It's not something I like, because as we can all notice, it's not sustainable. We don't know what to expect from Tottenham. We went into the Champions League fixture against one of the worst AC Milan sides I've ever seen, and we couldn't beat them. And then we lost against one of the worst Leicester sides that everyone's getting points against, 4-1. And then we're going to beat Chelsea. I know this ain't a great Chelsea team. We can all sit here and admit this is a Chelsea team most teams would expect to beat. But when you look at the players that they've got on paper, and let's be honest, this is a big not a North London derby, but it's a big London derby for them. You'd expect them to turn up and just have that bit more grit, and they was missing it. They was really missing it on the weekend. I didn't see much from Chelsea. I know they had the ball more than us, and you can look at the stats and they look all right. But if you watch the game, it was a poor game from them. Didn't have no tactical identity. You can even see when they look to change the game, he's bringing on Mason Mount. There's not much game changers that they've really got on the bench to do anything for them at the moment. But we done our job. Harry Kane controlled the game. Great business in the middle of the park, playing like a centre mid, centre forward. And then Oliver Skip. You
need to speak on Oliver Skip, because I'm not gonna lie. I've rated him for a little while, and I told my Chelsea mates, yo, he needs to be given more chance. But he's always written off. And even you Spurs fans, or the ones that I used to speak to, said, nah, we need better. I'm not gonna lie, I've been impressed with him for about a season now. Every time I've seen him play, he's been neat, he's been strong in the tackle, and hella energy. The way Conte sets up his team, the way you guys look for two, how do you want to call them? They remind me of my midfield when we were at our peak. The Gini, Wijnaldum, the Fabinhos and the Hendersons, just three straight athletes in there. You're looking for people that are going to keep recycling the ball and can run up and down, basically, without, I'm not cussing them, I'm just being real. And then you're just letting your fullbacks try to create all your front three. This guy, he's 22 only. Like, is he going to be given a chance? Are you a fan of his, or what's your opinion on this guy?
You know, I've been up and down with him. With Tottenham, like I said, some Tottenham fans don't rate him, some do. I was one of the ones that when he first came in, I watched him a bit, and when he had when Norwich got promoted, I think the season before last, he was one of the key players to their promotion in the Championship, played most of their games and was one of their best players. So I expected a lot from him. He come on under Mourinho, done his thing a bit. He was adding in, and Mourinho even touted him to be the next future Spurs captain. So there was a lot of hype around him, but he had a few injuries. He sort of trailed off and then hadn't really played much. But like you said, in these last couple games, when we've needed him, when he's actually had a good run in games, he started to build the fixtures up. He's looked good. He has looked good. He's looked really tidy on the ball, like you said. I think the one bit where he does lack is his passing range. I'd like to see him get a bit more cleaner with the passing and be able to spread the ball a bit better. But he's good in the tackle. He's solid in the midfield. He knows how to move around, and he keeps the ball ticking when it's needed. So it was good to see him finally get a goal, knowing that he is a Spurs boy. And it's taken a while for him to get that goal. So against Chelsea, couldn't have asked for it any better. Edge of the box, and magnificent strike. And I just thought it was an all-round good game. Another player that I do need to shout out, though, is the man that everyone hates, Emerson Royale.
I was just gonna literally come. I was just gonna come to him. Right. I saw him when not this season, the last season. Right. When it was 2-2 between us
last year.
Yeah. And I managed to get a ticket, and I had to go with Toby. Shout out Toby, got me a ticket. I had to sit in the Spurs end, but the game's the game. And he was going mad. Right, people already know Toby's very passionate, gets angry, and I could feel his anger. And I was like, even I'm not a Spurs fan, I was getting angry as well. I was thinking, if I was a Spurs fan, this guy, why is he on a football pitch? Never mind playing for my club. Why is he on how is he at Barcelona in it before that? Yeah. What is this guy? What profile is he? What does he do? What I've never seen I've seen a few worse footballers, but he was so bad. Fast forward 2023, you guys have been crying for a right back. You go and buy potentially one of the best fullbacks in European football, Porro from Sporting Lisbon. This guy says, okay, is that what you're doing to me? Are you putting me under pressure? And you know what I say, guys, on this channel, pressure makes diamonds. And this guy, I think he's been one of your best players last month or so.
Exactly that. The last month, he's been magnificent. You couldn't ask for more from your player. I think it's just amazing to see a player like him where you say, we make a signing, and then he says, no, you don't. You're not taking my position. And he just turns it up. He's played out of his skin. Best he's played for Tottenham in his last month's been the best football I've seen him in a Tottenham shirt. And it's been consistently. It's been getting better. And he's been locking up players. Like, he's generally looked good defensively, going forward. He's doing all these no-look passes and stuff, like the Brazilian Joga Bonito starting to come out in him. And it's good. It is good to start seeing our players really step it up, especially the ones that you least expect it from, because we've got a few injuries. We've got a few players out, and we've not had Conte around. So you need these players, ones that you don't expect to really step it up in this stage of the season where we can really start picking it up and getting key points.
On the other side of the coin, Michael, Chelsea, Potter, like, I don't know, we can all laugh and we can all spend a whole show on cussing Chelsea, but what do they do? Like, don't get me wrong, I don't feel sorry for them one single bit, apart from Potter himself, right? The whole institution is just rancid, man. Get out of here, man. Get liquidated and shit. But trying to keep that, trying to be neutral and shit, what do they do next? Like, do they persevere with him? Do they make a decision now? It's difficult. They've spent all this money. Then the new manager's going to want his players. How does this work?
Honestly, I think he has to go because no matter how good you are as a tactician, if you lose your players, you gotta go. There's no coming back from that. And those players on that pitch look lost. They look like they don't want to play football. And I thought Ralph Rangnick's Man United was the worst Big Six club side I've ever seen in my life. This Chelsea team makes that team look like prime Barcelona. They scored 1 goal in the month of February. Joao Felix is gonna win goal of the month because that's the only goal he scored. Bilal, you remember when Arsenal did that when a bomb man scored against Man United? That was like your only goal of the month.
Yeah,
it's them kind of vibes, bro. They scored 1 goal a month, 600 mil to score 1 goal. Man United won as many trophies in February as Chelsea have scored goals. That club stinks, and Graham Potter, his tactics stink. On the pitch, they stink. Like, what? Why did you bench Badiashile? He's been your best center back in 2023, and you bench him for Koulibaly. It's not like Champions League is coming up, so Koulibaly needs to get match fitness. You have no game midweek, so why are you benching Badiashile? There's no point. Like, I don't get it. Enzo Fernandez is getting cooked in transition. This guy's a traffic cone. He's getting cooked by every single midfielder that he comes up against. Why? Because he's not a 6. Grizz, you remember 2 weeks ago I said they're going to treat him like Paul Pogba. I have the PTSD for Enzo Fernandez. He's getting treated. He's getting mistreated. It's embarrassing. And up top, Kai Havertz is the worst forward I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
He's an abomination to football. He is horrible. Where is the threat? No, there's no chance Aubameyang is worse than Kai Havertz. There's no chance that Aubameyang is worse than Kai Havertz.
Like, nah, he is.
That Fofana kid, why is he not playing? Mudryk, this guy's about to be 007 like Jadon Sancho was. This guy ain't doing nothing. Like, I don't get it. That team, I don't know what they need. They do need more money, but can they really spend that much more money? Because like
they need more money. Come on.
They need to spend
I'm so
more.
glad they wasted that Roman money.
This team stinks. So they need to spend more money, but I don't know where that money's coming from because at the rate that they're going, they're going to get like 12th, 13th place. How much money do you get for that? I know you get a lot more than other leagues, but there's no European money. And if you're looking at other clubs, will other clubs really want to buy these players right now? Like Mason Mount, Liverpool will buy him maybe for like 20 mil. His price ain't going to go higher than that at this rate. His stocks are in the ground. Like, if you look at that team, out of like the old regime players, who do you really want to buy? Do any of us want to buy Ben Chilwell right now? I don't think so.
Bro,
it's tough.
Bill out our boy Noor, shout out Noor. He says, I told you they don't respect Potter's swag switch. Bro, is he on, like, I don't know, man. Noor, like, we laughed at him. But who's laughing now?
Something. I don't know.
Yeah,
I was reading some of the quotes today. It's been mad at the Chelsea side, right? They said that Potter's now training-wise, he's got too many players. So he's having to choose certain players.
But that's normal. Look, you get a teacher, you get a class of 10. It's easy to control. You can give your time to each one and make sure they're all good. You give them a team of 40, class of 40 pupils. You ain't got time to give the attention and detail and care to each one.
He should pick a squad and dash the other ones.
He ain't. My only fear for Potter, I'll let you guys speak on Potter and what do you think. Would you sack him? Would you keep him? My only fear for Potter is I don't think he's got the kahunas to make the big calls. That's the only problem.
Yeah, that's what's happening now. A normal, like it feels like a Ten Hag who's gone in there.
Ten Hag's the best example.
Yeah, and he's got like 40 players. Half of them are not serious. He's just gonna dash them. He's gonna keep the serious ones, use them, coach them, talk to them. The other ones, listen, you're gonna have to show something else with maybe one of his assistants or something. Get a report back to him like, yeah, he's doing well. Bring him up. It's just normal because at this point they've got too many players. There's too many problems. You watch them play. There's no ideas. It's so slow. Like I don't really know what's going on. And they made Skip look like an absolute monster in the midfield. Honestly, for me, Skip, I haven't obviously watched him that much because he hasn't really played that much for Tottenham. And also from the Tottenham fans that I've listened to and heard, they've not really rated him that much or spoke about him that much for me to have a idea of his ceiling, right? So it's just like a random player for me playing. I'm just watching him boss them, winning balls back, tackles. The goal that he scored, Enzo, that clearance is poor. Joao Felix, weak. You know, he's got Skip near him, gets just taken off the ball. Skip smashes it. And I'm just looking at this Chelsea
Don't let me start on Loftus Cheeks.
Like, yeah, no, I don't even want to talk about. But listen, another thing, Todd Bowley, because why are they talking about Arteta and All or Nothing documentaries? I don't understand. You watch an All or Nothing documentary clearly because they keep talking about it in the Chelsea media. Oh, they think he's like, they watch a documentary if you want him to get sacked. So they go and sign Aubameyang after watching that documentary. That's one thing I don't understand. What's going on there? Number two, they've signed Enzo 100%. I get that. Fair enough. You think he's this player that can do good things for you. But I know Jorginho's contract was running down. But it doesn't make sense to sell him when you know Kante's always injured. And Kante himself isn't a great number 6. He needs someone next to him to control the game and help him in that position as well. And you've left yourself with Loftus-Cheek, with Enzo. It doesn't make any sense. You signed Madueke, who for me, I don't see what.
Why was he injured? Was he on the subs bench?
I'm not even sure. I'll check now.
Like how Ziyech, who was fax away.
Yeah, it was on the bench. It didn't come on. Conor Gallagher the same.
Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Ziyech is gone. He doesn't want to be at the club. He's about to be signed by PSG. If it wasn't for a fax machine malfunction,
he tried to get sent off. He punched up Emerson. He was trying to get off the pitch.
I think like you said, Grizz. Yeah, Potter just doesn't have as much control as people think. I feel like he's just there being the front man, the head coach for Todd Boehly and Chelsea's crew while he just experiments. But he's got loads of players. He's not a manager that's going to go in there and just choose the specific players he wants. He's too nice. He gives me a lot of Ole vibes. He's going to go in there, high five everyone. Let's have a good training session today, lads. Let's have fun. Let's have fun first.
I don't think he's that. I don't think they want to high five this brother.
He gave them 3 days off. He gave them, I believe, 3 days off before this game or something like that, right? So how are you giving people days off when they're not?
When you haven't got time. No. Check this out. You're giving players 3 days off, which you haven't had time to coach them on the pitch because there's too many of them. So which one is it? Because what you could have done is give the senior players, the ones carrying a little bit knocks. Nobody needs to know. Just mention about 10 players that are carrying knocks or the older or 30 and above. Give them time off and get everyone else in there on the training ground. Talk to them. Tell them this is how the future is. Not 3 days off because I don't know. Maybe
they'll take advantage of it. If you're not performing well, the job right now, imagine Chelsea atmosphere is kind of dead. Then I hear 3 days off. And I'm a Chelsea player. I'm just gonna be doing something else. I'm not even thinking about football. I'm not thinking about Tottenham. I'm not thinking about the game. I'm just gonna be chilling. You can't be having that.
TBG sends in a super chat. I hope this is what happened, man. Potter's rattled when he's comparing himself to Arteta. Chelsea going back to factory settings pre-2003. They deserve it. Bunch of, you know what I mean. But I'd love it if Chelsea go back to that car park. You know what I mean, that they used to have at Stamford Bridge and. Because the ground's stinky, the ground.
Well, they're talking about redeveloping it, and they have to go.
Well, I reckon they've spent that money on players. I don't know. It's a catch-22.
But I think also we criticize Graham Potter, but Todd Boehly needs to hold his.
Todd Boehly's the problem. Well, he thinks it was the hero, and people love him. I'm gonna see how much Chelsea fans love Todd Boehly come another year or two.
Because we talk about Madueke. What is the point of signing Madueke when you have a Hakeem Ziyech, you have a Raheem Sterling, you have a Mudryk? Instead of signing a DM, you were in the Portuguese league, right? I think Grizz said Liverpool were linked with this guy, or looking at this guy, Ugarte from Sporting. You pair that guy next to Enzo, and that's a midfield that will actually control the game because, Oliver Skip is cold, and he was cold at Norwich, but there's no Oliver Skip should not be dominating your midfield, especially in a Big Six game. Bentancur was not on that pitch. This different settings.
Do they sign João Felix? You think? No.
Nah. Evan Kunku.
And Kunku's coming.
And who's better? Who's a better player?
And João Felix has been the only shining light.
And now he's going down with them because he's been horrible the last 2 games.
It is what it is, man.
It's not easy. You're gonna start drowning in there. It's not easy. I feel like
you can't point out the individual players because I think a lot of these players will improve under a new manager and they will look a lot better. But Potter just doesn't have them playing consistently in the right formation, in the right tactical way, as in every game he sets up differently. He seems like he's setting up to play the opposition rather than to play his own game, which is weird because at Brighton we saw him play a consistent way of football and we saw him learn that Brighton way and instill it in them to actually play good football, keep the ball well and break teams down. I don't know why it's not clicking at Chelsea because he's got all the minerals and all the tools to do it, but he's just not doing it right at the moment, and he has to go. I feel like he's had far too much time.
Okay, George is saying he's got to go. Bilal, any more time?
Well, at this point he should get sacked 100%, but he's not going to. I don't think he's going to, and it makes you wonder. Even Thomas Tuchel, as good as he was, he struggled with this squad. right? And they've added more on top of it. He struggled to get the goals out of them. He struggled to get the consistent play out of them. So if he couldn't do it, and he's an elite manager, how is Potter? How do we expect him to get anything out of these guys, especially with the lack of experience he has at this level? So for me, he should get sacked. But at the same time, who do they bring in? It's too many questions. Like, who do you bring in?
They've already said
I'm hearing shouts of John Terry. I'm hearing shouts of John Terry.
I saw that
till the end of the
tweet.
season.
I hope they do that. But I saw two names: Amorim from Sporting and Thomas Frank. The confusion with that is they've been trying to get away from playing 3-back, right? From Thomas Tuchel. You're hiring two managers that specialize in a 3-4-3 or a 3-5-2. So where's the process in that?
I don't know, man. I like Potter. I'm not gonna just flip flop. I think he's been put into a mad situation. I keep saying it. I don't know, man, what's gonna happen with him. But
I hope he doesn't get blackballed. I really hope he doesn't get blackballed. Like David Moyes couldn't get a top job after Man United. I hope that doesn't happen to Potter because he's a top manager, but it's just that club is toxic.
It's hurt his brand. It's hurt his reputation, definitely. But I don't think it's all his fault. I get what you lot are saying, and I've said it myself. He hasn't got the aura to go in to tell big boys, yo, you listen to me. Not yet, anyway. But very, very briefly now, because I got to wrap up now. I've got to jump on the Big Six in about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Arsenal just keep handling their business, Bilal. Nice, confident, rested Nketiah, fucked up my FPL, not a problem. But yeah, man, I think it was comfortable. I think it was too comfortable. I think Leicester were disappointing, but fair play to Arsenal. They've come back hard, strong, organized, and showed the mentality. I think it's yours to lose. Very much so.
Yeah, I agree with that, to be honest. And I watched that game against Leicester. I was angry watching the game, not because of Leicester, not because of Arsenal, it was only because of the referees. I was like, these refs again, every game, I'm just tired. Every game, I'm complaining about the refs. And I could only do that because the game was so comfortable, because I felt no threat from Leicester. If I started feeling threats from Leicester as well, and the referees annoying me, the referee stuff will go to the back of my mind, and I'll start looking at Leicester like, oh, they're actually going to do something to us. But didn't think they did anything. I think they had only one shot, Dewsbury Hall, towards the end. That's about it. Long range shot. Nothing else apart from that. But really and truly, I think Dewsbury Hall even himself talked about it after the game. He said, yeah, we had a few chances for the counter, but we just kept on seeing a sea of red in front of us every single time. And that was the difference in that game. The transitions, we closed them down. We didn't get to give them any space. And that's why they couldn't get any shots away, right? So, yeah, it was a good performance. We played really well. And it shouldn't have been just 1-0. Should have been 2, 3, 4. But we take it. We move on. And now it's a test now to get revenge against Everton. Because they and Newcastle, but really that Everton game started that little slump that we had. So to get one back at them, I think it's going to be important, but they're going to be up for it. They just lost to Villa. They're coming to Arsenal thinking we need to get some points here and there. So they're going to be fighting just like they did the first match.
No. Don't try and hype it up. There's no way you must get 3 points against Everton. There's no way this ain't happening. Otherwise, yeah, all of this talk is just empty. You must.
Yeah, no, I believe we'll deal with them accordingly. And because of the way that we played, especially in the last 2 games, but what we've changed from that Aston Villa game where we conceded 2 goals in that first half, the lack of urgency in those transitions, but the urgency I saw against Leicester, that's the intensity you need to play at. You have to play at that level, and that's the way you're going to stop these counters. You're going to stop these, little moments that teams will get, because obviously it's 2 teams playing a game. They're going to have a few chances or spells in the game where they could do something. And against Everton, with McNeil, with Iwobi, they've got threats up there that can actually, cause a few issues. But as I said, we need to do something against them. But the thing with Arsenal now, away form has been good this year. Our home form is weird. If you look at our fixtures and look at our results, right, we've won like 3-2, 4-2, late comebacks against Fulham. We're having weird games at home. Like we concede. Is it the atmosphere? Is it the pressure of the fans? Like we play 100 miles per hour.
It's the pressure.
Because away from home, if you watch any of our away performances, most of them have been really controlled, calm, professional performances. But the moment we play at home, we're just nuts. Like we go forward, we obviously try to score early, we try to, kill the game, but then you know, we can't keep doing that at home. You can't keep conceding 1 goal, 2 goals at home each and every game, then expecting to score 2 or 3, 4 goals to win a game. So that's the one thing that needs to be cut
One
out.
question for
Cut out,
you.
yeah.
One question for you, very quickly. Nketiah comes back into the team, or are you sticking with Trossard?
No. Please, Nketiah, you've done your job. You've helped me in my time of need. You came on, you know, when we needed someone. You got those goals against Man United.
You're not bringing him back.
No, brother, stay on the bench, please.
Oh, you're
Trossard,
nasty.
I
No,
agree with him. I agree with him.
Trossard, that is he's giving me what Jesus was giving me. He's 2-footed, he's smart, he's
That's
linking up and
harsh
switching
on
with
Nketiah,
Martinelli.
man.
Now, Nketiah, listen, he's a good player. And to be honest, right, for me, I'll be real, right? Nketiah, like, if there's an offer for like 30, 40 million from like a West Ham, like, he should go there. We should just get the money and just try and bring in maybe a proper number 9 that can help us go another level, because he's a good player, he's a good striker, but I don't think at Arsenal he's ever going to be the number 9.
Our defense are no longer in trouble then, yeah?
No, listen, he can get goals, he can help, but I don't think he's not of the level. He's not of the level. It's like Weghorst at Man United, right? Obviously,
I respect Nketiah, bro.
Yeah, no. But I mean, like,
Nketiah.
No. I'm not. I'm saying, like, he's not. I mean, like, Weghorst. Yeah, we know he's not going to be that number 9 for Man United. It's the same with Nketiah. He's never going to be that number 9 at Arsenal. He's been a good squad player. He's been getting us goals when we've needed him to get it. But really and truly, in the summer now, it's something to look at. If there's an offer, listen, we have to think about it. Especially with the likes of Balogun as well coming through.
You want to swim me Balogun? I'll take Balogun at my club.
No. But listen, guys, let's wrap it up. We're gonna Michael and George. One last question for you guys. Arsenal, are they winning the league, Michael? Now,
yeah,
I think Man City defense. Has your mind flipped again?
Nah, I do think Arsenal win. Man City did that team. I can't watch them. You know, they were playing Saturday. I couldn't watch them. I didn't watch the game. They're so boring to watch. So, you know, I'll just go back Arsenal. But don't drop points against Everton, because, like I said 2 weeks ago, we're hunting. So we're just on the low right now.
He's talking from that angle.
Weghorst, he's saying quadruple charge and all of this. I'm hearing how's this
B-Tech quadruple, man. Get out of here. Quadruple. George, are Arsenal winning the league?
Nah. I've stayed consistent in this, and I don't think they're going to win the league. They still got to play City. I see City picking up points against them. I see Arsenal dropping points. Arsenal have a lot of games to play, a lot of hard games to play. Games that they dropped points in last season, games they've dropped points in this season. Not too many of those, but big teams. And I see Arsenal crumbling under the pressure. So City for the title.
We're going to be here for the running, people. This has been episode 10 of Premier League Khanage. Thank you, George, for making. Hopefully, we get you on again very soon, my brother. Thank you very much. Michael, Bilal, we catch up in a bit. People, this has been Premier League Khanage, episode 9/10. We're not really sure. 10. Okay, we're growing nicely. 10 episodes in. Catch you next Monday, probably. We out of here. Take care.